Well, no one's going to say that Disney doesn't have any good franchises behind them, because clearly they do, especially when they go buying out another company's IP, intellectual property, right? So Disney bought out 20th Century Fox a while back, and 20th Century Fox owned the rights to the X-Men movies, kind of thing, right? Disney also ended up buying Lucasfilm. George Lucas basically gave the rights to Disney, and what was it, $4 billion? So now Disney owns the Star Wars franchise pretty much. Disney pretty much owns most, not all, but most of the MCU as well. So interesting, right? We're going to be talking today about George Lucas potentially getting some of his creativity, creative control, I guess you could say, back. Because he was famous for saying that he lost a lot of his creative control when he sold his movies and his company to Disney. But he may be getting it back, and he may be getting filming, or maybe producing and being involved with the script with 3 more Disney movies. Interesting, right? And we're also going to be talking about Hugh Jackman. And, you know, he's very famous for saying that he won't do Logan. He won't be playing the character Logan anymore, because the last movie he did was called Logan. It was a great film. But he may be coming back one more time. Just want to celebrate. So we're going to talk about these 2 things today. Very interesting, I think they are anyway. Guys, my name's Gareth Walton. We talk about absolutely everything on this channel every single day. Channel 2 is where we're at right now, but of course we do have Channel 1. If you are interested, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, at TallBoyGareth. All right, let's go back. Let's read this right now. Why not, huh? Interesting article from this website. George Lucas reportedly taking back creative control of Star Wars. So on the left, you've got Mr. American Graffiti. In the middle, you've got Mr. Snakes on a motherfucking plane. And on the right, you've got Miss Black Swan. Am I wrong? No, I'm pretty spot on there, actually. It's kind of funny. I'm cracking myself up. All right. When Star Wars creator George Lucas sold his space opera franchise, that's what he used to call it, right? He sold it to the Walt Disney Company in 2012. Star Wars fans weren't exactly sure, you know, what would happen to beloved characters like Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill, Princess Leia, Carrie Fisher, and of course Han Solo. Dun, 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 Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford. That's George Lucas and Bob, wasn't it? Bob Iger? Is that his name? Disney guy? You guys know, don't you? Disney Star Wars sequel trilogy proved to be divisive. Divisive. Is that right? Am I saying that correctly? Divisive with many moviegoers.
Divisive.
Unhappy with the fates of the original trilogy's core trio and the general lack. The general layer? Forget about me. The general lack of direction in the 3 films, right? Starting with The Force Awakens. Even J.J. Abrams has actually admitted, there's an article somewhere that J.J. Abrams has admitted, saying that he thinks there should have been more of a storyline. There should have been more thinking about how to tie the 3 movies together. Even he has said that, and he's done 2 of the 3 movies. Crazy, right? But anyway, so American Graffiti director Lucas has publicly acknowledged that he expected to have more say in the Star Wars sequels, which were directed by, as we said, J.J. Abrams. Rian Johnson did the middle one, and Abrams did the last one again. Rian Johnson isn't exactly in everyone's good books based on that movie. No, he is not. And he wished he had more development in the characters like Rey, Finn, and Poe Dameron, pretty much, right? That's a nice shot. I like that shot. Lucas has also shared that he had already begun writing his own sequel trilogy, which would have seen Princess Leia emerge as the chosen one. Rest in peace. That's sad. Imagine if that would have happened. That would have been amazing. And it would have had Darth Maul's apprentice, Darth Talon, as its villain. Interesting, right? In recent years, rumors of Lucas's official return to the Star Wars universe have swirled online. Now, these intensified after he was seen on set of Jon Favreau's, hit Disney Plus series, of course, The Mandalorian. So there's Jon Favreau, and that guy in the middle is called Dave, I'm pretty sure. And of course, Lucas himself, All right, going to the next one. Now, a new report indicates that Lucas may be bankrolling an upcoming Star Wars trilogy. Wow. Effectively taking back much of the creative control that he lost when, when sitting Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy was put in charge of the Star Wars galaxy. Yeah, Kathleen Kennedy, once again, another person that's not in people's good books at the moment. You could say her name is Mud. That's a President Lincoln joke. Never mind. I learnt that reference from that Nicolas Cage movie. What's that movie called? Where they go out finding treasure. National Treasure. Anyway, forget about me. One of the conspirators to actually kill President Lincoln was named as Mudd. That was his name, Thomas Mudd. I think so. Anyway, let's move on. Now a report, we've already read that bit, George Lucas, okay. So it's important to note that this information remains entirely unconfirmed by either the Walt Disney Company or Lucasfilm. Furthermore, Walt Disney Company CEO Bob has recently announced that Kennedy's residency pretty much with Disney will continue. Interesting. Some people will like that, others will absolutely fucking hate it. At least for the foreseeable future. Interesting, right? By the way, Kathleen Kennedy is actually being photographed on set with Indiana Jones for Indiana Jones 5. She's producing it. Interesting, right? Hopefully it's a good movie. I don't know. Not too sure on that one. I'm hoping it is, but at the moment, yeah, not feeling too good. Anyway, I made a movie about that. Go check out my film. It was a few days ago. I will link it down in the description below. So anyway, going back to what we're talking about. However, given Lucas's own comments about desiring more say in the sequels and his involvement in The Mandalorian, it would not be shocking to see there be at least some truth to the new rumor. The report did not indicate what the plot of the purported new Star Wars trilogy might be. I'm not going to read any more about this article, but that's just been a quick little thing regarding George Lucas. He potentially, maybe, getting back into his element. He's a water element. He's a fire element. He's an elemental. He's a Star Wars elemental, that guy. All right, now going to this website regarding Hugh Jackman and the X-Men series. Hugh Jackman reportedly considering Wolverine return, but needs to see the script first. If it happens, oh God, I hope it happens, but if it happens, please let the script be good. Please. I don't want to see Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool mouth covered. You know, that was Ryan Reynolds' first thing in the MCU. Remember that? That was the first ever Deadpool in one of those Logan movies. God, it was terrible. Anyway, 2017's Logan was as fine a send-off as a character can get. Hugh Jackman's Wolverine was one of the best things about Fox's X Universe, but until then had never gotten the story he deserved. He was great as part of an ensemble in efforts like X2, X-Men United, and Days of Future Past, but his solo outings stunk up the place pretty bad. Logan did him justice. Great movie. Great movie. Though so much so that fans don't want him to go. Yeah, Logan, great movie. One of my top 3 X-Men movies, probably my second favorite. Logan with a great adult theme. I wish a lot of these movies had adult themes with language and gore and just, adult themes. Great, right? Interesting. So, some leaker is now claiming that Disney and Marvel Studios are among those fans and are desperate to get Jackman back in the MCU. The story goes that he first told them a flat out no. Hugh Jackman was like, no, I don't want to be in another X-Men movie. He pointed out that he died in Logan and that resurrecting him would cheapen the movie. Yeah, I can honestly see how that would cheapen the movie a little bit. But anyway, so Marvel Studios' response was that this isn't the same Wolverine. What? Let's continue. As it'd be from an alternative Earth, somewhere in the multiverse. Interesting. Jackman was apparently somewhat convinced by this, but still needs to see a script before committing to anything. Interesting, right? Interesting. So Logan would not be... The movie Logan wouldn't be cheapened by somehow him getting resurrected because he died at the end, right? Oops. Spoilers. But yeah, he would be still alive in a multiverse, multi-universe kind of thing. Right, did Captain Marvel maybe bring him to our Earth? Interesting, right? Interesting. My position is that all of this is extremely wishful thinking. After all, the actor has been repeatedly asked about returning and hasn't wavered from his stance that a comeback would spoil the ending of Logan. In addition, at 52 years old, I doubt he wants to stay in the ludicrously good shape that he maintained for those movies forever. Look at this photo, by the way. This is such a great photo. This is on set of Logan, I'm guessing. And yeah, they've got like a table, two different tables filled with swords, filled with claws, I should say. And that's the device that he holds. He literally holds it with that. And this would go in between his fingers and knuckles and stuff. That's incredible, right? They've got like a clean one there and bloodied ones. You call them ones the mass murderer ones, right? But beyond that, it doesn't make much financial or contractual sense for Marvel Studios and Disney to bring him back. What? It doesn't? Let's read on. Avengers Endgame saw a shredding of their most expensive talent, with MCU A-listers like Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, America's ass, and Scarlett Johansson, America's tits. Moving on, just ignore I said that. Scarlett Johansson, commanding, they all commanded impressive wages as they came to an end of their long contracts. They were asking for a lot of money, and they were getting it because they were acting and they're A-listers, right? Audiences don't need a big actor to get excited about the mutant. So it's much more likely that the studio will choose a lesser-known star that they can look into a long multi-movie contract with, kind of thing. So in any case, if Jackman was to ever reprise Wolverine, my bet is that it would be in a very brief cameo in a Deadpool pick. Still, as much as I'd like to see him, it may be time for fans to accept that he's hung up his claws for good. Now, there's one more thing I want to show you. If Hugh Jackman was to truly never come back and reprise his role, Hugh Jackman wants Tom Hardy to be the next Wolverine. Interesting, right? Very interesting. So look, quickly read this, 1 minute long. We'd all love to see Hugh Jackman play Wolverine again, but after 17 years in the role and at the age of 52, it's looking unlikely to ever happen, kind of thing. Still, the man who made his name playing Logan has already revealed who he'd like to see starring in the next role. Tom Hardy. Speaking to MTV ahead of the release of his last outgoing as Wolverine and Logan. So this must be an old article, but yeah, I've been asked this question a lot, and I'm always like, I don't want to make it too easy on the studio to replace me. I'm sure they're already talking about it, that some actor out there, they've already said, shush, keep it quiet, but we want you next, kind of thing. So he's younger than me for sure, but I think Tom Hardy would be great. So there you go. Hugh Jackman thinks that Tom Hardy would play a great Wolverine. And I'm not going to lie, I think Tom, he's obviously got the looks, right? He's got the similar facial vibe going on, in this photo at least, as Hugh Jackman. And yeah, he's younger. He could definitely reprise his role now. Would fans, would I, sympathize? Would I connect with his character? Would I connect with his acting? Knowing that we've all seen Hugh Jackman in all of his X-Men movies, would I be able to sympathize with his acting and believe it? Or would I be calling bullshit? Terrible. They should have never replaced Hugh Jackman. I don't know. Interesting. What will happen? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Give me a like, subscribe, ring the bell. We are on 2 different YouTube channels, Channel 2 and of course Channel 1. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, at Tallboy Gareth. I've been Tall. My name is Gareth. And look, I'll see you guys tomorrow. See you guys. That's the birds over there. Bye.